And before I talk about that, is it all right if I give you just a bit of background, tell you my story just very quickly, and then tell you what I see when I look at Plexus? Is that all right? All right. I got involved in this profession a very long time ago. I've been involved for 37 years in this profession. It's longer than most of you have been alive when I look out at you. But I got started when I was 23 years old. I had 18 jobs by the time I was 23, barely escaped high school. They had to have meetings, whether they should keep me back or would just let me go. I had 18 different jobs by the time I was 23. I was nobody's prize. I did everything you can do for minimum wage. Every single possible job you could have for minimum wage. And then I was lucky enough to find this profession. And I'd love to tell you that I was an instant success. But I wasn't. I really struggled. My first 3.5 years. I went full-time fast because I didn't have a lot of options. It was like minimum wage or this, right? Should be able to do enough with this to be able to cover minimum wage. All right, so I'm going to focus on this. I had so many ups and downs. They don't tell you how emotional this business is. How many understand that this is an emotional business? Raise your hands. This is a crazy emotional business. Most jobs you go there, you leave the emotion there, you come home. Here, it is personal, it is right in your face, it is testing you every single minute of every single day. But I counted it up one time. I rebuilt my team 7 times in my first 3 years. I build it up, fall apart. And I build it up again, fall apart. I was telling the leaders yesterday, you ever look at your team and get depressed? It's like, yeah, that's my team, sorry. That was me, man. I was at the meeting time, up as close as I could be. I'm taking all the notes, I'm learning all the stuff. I didn't figure out duplication. I had addition and subtraction. I had that figured out. I could recruit somebody and I'd lose somebody, and recruit somebody else, and I'd lose somebody else. If I took a weekend off, my team took off a month. Did it ever happen to you? Went on vacation one time. I saved up and I'm taking my kids to Disney World. I came back, my team was gone, couldn't find them. So, 7 times, and I almost threw in the towel. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but for me, I went to my first convention, pressed up against the glass, excited to get in, sitting up as close as they'll let me, up close to the big shots, trying to get my picture taken with all the different fancy people, get an autograph from somebody making money, doing all this thing, and I saw the recognition for the very first time, which you started to see. There was different kinds. Stand up if you're at this level, okay, sit down. There was that level. Congratulations to all those people. Then there's fast walk recognition. You got to walk really fast. Then there's slow walk, and then there's the big speech, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Wrote my goals, wrote my speech for when I was going to get the chance to thank my team and thank my parents and thank God for all these accolades. And then I went home, and guess what? Life got in the way. All my to-do lists got in the way. All my other obligations got in the way. All this struggle got away. And I got to tell you, I was sitting in an event just like this, 3.5 years into my business. And I was back 2/3 of the way back now. I'm not fighting to get up front. And I'm watching the recognition. I'm still not up on that stage. And I said, you know what? It was like something clicked in my brain. What would happen if I just decided to become a professional? I wasn't focused on the upline. I wasn't focused on luck. I wasn't focused on timing. I wasn't focused on finding that magical distributor that was going to change everything for me. I was just focused on being good. Up until this point, I had this mantra, I'd rather be lucky than good. Well, if you get on that road, you got to stay lucky. If you're good, I'd rather be good than lucky. That's what I learned. That these skills can be learnable. And in that moment, it's like I'm sitting by myself and I'm going, if I just focus on becoming really, really good at what it takes to build a business here, then I don't need support. I won't need training. I won't need help. I won't need to blame anybody else for my lack of productivity. I won't need any of that stuff. You'll be able to drop me out of a plane with a parachute anywhere on earth and I'll be able to grow a business because I'll have the skills, right? So in that moment, up until that point, my dominating fear in my body, or my dominating emotion was fear. Fear that I wasn't enough. Fear that I was letting people down. I was letting my family down. I was letting my team down because I wasn't prepared to be able to lead them properly. And I felt guilty and I felt afraid at the same time. And when I made that decision, sitting in a room like this, the fear left my body. Like smoke. I had a plan. And I just spent the rest of that event trying to find the most skilled people I could find and schedule a time, maybe even later, to have a call with them or talk with them, learn what they know. And I started to put together a playbook, and I wasn't worried about short-term results. I was worried about skills. People ask me, what advice would you have for somebody who wants to really build something here? My advice is always the same. Build the skills, because if you have the skills, you're going to have more confidence. If you have more confidence, you're going to take more action. Take more action, you're going to get more results. But if you don't have the skills, you're always going to be insecure. You're always going to be afraid. You're always going to be blaming or expecting other people to rescue you and save you. Work on the skills. And that's all I did is I worked on the skills and I let go of the results. And I will tell you, in this decision, first thing I want to tell you about decision. How many of you are ready for a different level decision to take your Plexus business to another level? Raise your hand. Yeah? Let me give you a little warning. How many have made one of those decisions before in the past? Yeah? Let me give you a warning, and some of you that have made a decision in the past, this is a warning. Once you really make a decision to change your life, the universe is going to test you. And it's going to come from everywhere. It's like kids and family and drama and work and stuff's going to happen at the house and the weather's going to get bad. I mean, everything. Car's going to break down. I'm not wishing this on any of you. I'm just giving you a warning. Because once you say, I'm going to do this, period, end of story, you're going to be tested. I don't know why that test exists, but it does. And in that moment, you got to be a lighthouse in a storm. You just got to stand there and say, no, I'm not going to accept these distractions. No, I'm going to continue with this commitment. No, I'm going to do this, even if other people aren't. No, I don't need support from others. No, I don't need to hear all the other complaints about how things could be better, things change. I don't need to hear any of that stuff. I'm going to do this, me, right? And here's my promise to you. If you will stand in the storm will pass. You'll earn your way to another level. All right, give yourselves a round of applause if you're ready for that. Yeah? I find that warning helpful. When you make this big decision, you go home next week and you're like, what the heck is going on? So, let me tell you what I see when I look at Plexus. I've been a fan of your founder and your executive team, and I've been a fan of the leaders in your organization. I've been a fan of this company for many, many, many years. Connected with the company several months back and had a conversation. The conversation was this: can you help us? Plexus asking me, can you help us equip this field with the mindset, skill set, strategies, programs that they can use to have faster success, faster growth, and to be able to impact more lives? We had a lot of discussions around that, and the conclusion was yes. Yeah, so I said yes to that, which I very rarely say yes to, which is working with them and working with the leaders and working with you in order to be able to improve mindset, skill set, strategy, right? And I know what I'm doing when I talk about this. I've coached and helped about 1,000 people make $1 million a year in the network marketing profession. 1,000. It's a lot of people. I've helped tens of thousands make 6 figures. I really know what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 37 years. I'm equipped. I'm prepared and I'm ready. If the student is ready, I promise you, if you're ready for the next level, no matter how much you've done up until this point, I promise you, working together, we can do something amazing. But let me tell you why I said yes. Yeah, let me tell you why I said yes. When I look at companies, and this is what you need to be thinking about, okay? When you're thinking about what are you involved in? Some of you have been involved in this for a long time. You've been involved in your company for a long time, and you're just, yeah. Let me tell you what I see, fresh eyes, okay? First thing that I evaluate when looking at a company, or an opportunity, I should say, is the company itself. And when you look at the company, you've got to look at the founders. When you look at the founders, you've got to look at the management team. You've got to look at their experience. You've got to look at their track record. Are they overwhelmed with debt, which 90% of network marketing companies are, which limits their options and opportunities and abilities to pivot and grow? So when I look at this, your ownership, your management are completely committed. 1,000%. The fact that you are debt-free is such an enormous gift. We are living in a world in the network marketing space, just so you know, where it's a tale of two cities. For some, it's the best of times, and for others, it's the worst of times. And guess what? The worst of times companies all have in common. They're laid debt upon debt upon debt upon debt upon debt. They have one bad quarter. Their investors can pull the plug. You may have heard some of these companies gone. Why? Not because the model doesn't work, not because of network marketing, because of the debt that's connected to the company. It's a huge benefit. Okay? But not only that, is the company ownership and leadership dedicated to growth, or are they comfortable with where they are? Absolutely dedicated to growth. So that tick the box for me. Second thing I would encourage you to take a look at, and even encourage your prospects to take a look at, are the products. And you want to ask 4 big questions when you take a look at the products. Is there a need for the products? Let me ask you, is there a need for Plexus products in the world?
Yes.
Number 2, do the Plexus products meet the need? Yes or no?
Yes.
Number 3, are they priced to sell when it comes to quality and experience for the customer? Yes or no? And number 4, are they priced for profit? Meaning the distributors can make a profit, the leaders can make, the seller can make a profit, the leaders can make a profit, the company can make a profit. Is it profitable all the way around? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So, product takes care of itself. And I will tell you, this category, the fact that you can own a category is huge. Gut health, look, 17 years ago or whenever, last time I spoke here, it wasn't a big conversation in the world. But guess what? All the biohackers, all of my friends, all of the people that I talk to that are trying to help people with longevity, better health, health span, not just lifespan, they're all talking about the importance of the gut and what needs to happen inside the gut, and the fact that you are a category creator for that inside of network marketing is such a huge advantage. You should step into it. Now, of course, are they going to expand into more? Are they going to innovate? You're going to hear more about that today, of course. But with what you have, can you go dominate wherever you are in the world? The answer is yes. So, product checked off for me. Company checked off for me. Third thing was compensation. There's 3 things you got to take a look at when taking a look at any compensation structure. Can a brand new person make money quickly? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. Pretty fast, people can get a return of their investment, and then they can start getting a return on their investment, right? Pretty quick. A couple introductions, a couple referrals. So quick money for the brand new person. Because why do we all understand why that's important. Why is it important? Because if somebody has a little bit of success up front, it gets them to stay a little bit longer. And then they try it out, and they start learning some things, and they start, okay, maybe this could be something for me. And then they come to their first event like this. How many of you, this is your first event? Raise your hands.
Woo!
All right. So, all of that, early money, quick, helps with retention, helps people stay around longer. Yeah? Second area in a compensation structure is the part-time person needs to be able to make a reasonable part-time income with a reasonable part-time effort. And I think if you look at the Plexus compensation structure, how many would agree that yes or no, that the compensation plan answers that problem for a part-time person? Yes?
Yes.
Third thing that must be in place for radical growth is that big leaders or the big entrepreneurs, those with the big vision, work extremely hard. There's got to be a big upside. And is there a big upside in Plexus for somebody who decides to go after this in a big way? Yes or no? Yeah. So a new person, this is hard to do, so you know. It's hard to take care of all three groups. How do you take care of that brand new person? How do you take care of that part-time person? How do you take care of that big-time person in the same compensation structure? The innovation there, tremendous. So company, product, compensation. Fourth thing I would look at is the support. What kind of support is available for the organizations? Why am I here? I'm here to strengthen the support that the company's already providing you. They provide things like recognition, events, training, trips, tools, back office support, tracking, all of this stuff, marketing, packaging, shipping, everything. You just bring promotion. The support structure here is enormous, and the heart behind it, they don't resent giving you the support. They love giving you the support. So part of that support structure, when I'm looking at this, I looked at, can I help? Can I help that support structure? Can I help strengthen and thicken the skill set within this organization where these people are unstoppable? They can go build anywhere in any market. They can dominate their state, their region, their country. They can help expand around the world. I know I can help with that. Can I help with leadership development? My favorite thing, maybe. Finding people who want to become a leader, help them become a leader, strengthen them into leadership, having a strong leadership connection at the top so the organization can go where it needs to go. Ultimately, this is driven by leadership in the field. Where the leader goes, so goes the rest of the organization. So who wants to become a leader in this room? Who wishes to become one? Even if you don't, raise your hand anyway. I didn't think I was a leader when I first joined. I was happy being a follower. I was happy being a number two. I was happy, just like, tell me what I need to do, boss. All right, what's the next thing I need to do? Okay, can I get you a bottle of water? Okay. I was fine in that role. Until I found out how much the leaders made. And I went, wait a minute. I want that paycheck. Instead, so let me tell you quickly how I became a leader. It's a crazy story. There was not great leadership where I grew up in Minneapolis at that time with the company that I was involved with. Hello, Minnesota. Wow, awesome. There was not that much. So I decided that I would do the best I could in the meantime until a good leader showed up. And I told everybody, I'm not a leader, but I'm just going to do my best until a leader showed up. And guess what? In a couple of years, a leader showed up. Yeah. But it was me. It was me just doing the thing, trying to help. I learned how to lead myself. I learned how to lead other people. I learned how to lead leaders. This profession taught me, barely out of high school, 18 jobs, failed at everything in my life. The thing that I'm so grateful about this profession is it waited for me to develop. It waited for me to grow. It waited for me to become more valuable in the marketplace. It didn't kick me out when I wasn't ready. It let me make mistakes and still come back and try it again tomorrow. I'm grateful for that. So the support's enormous and it's about to get even better. This icon program is just one small example of support, right? So company, check. Products, check. Compensation, check. Support, check. Next thing is timing. And you have a very unique timing situation. And I'll tell you why. From my opinion, fresh eyes again, okay? Let me tell you why. One, you're one of the best kept secrets in the network marketing profession. Nobody knows. Very few people have heard the name Plexus. Very few people have taken your product even one time. Very few people know about the solutions that you have for customers. Almost no one. And yet, you're not a startup. You've got stability. So you've got low market penetration, big stability. You know how rare that is to have a company that is the size that you are, and yet the whole world is ready and ready for a fresh story that you can go out there and tell. It's very rare to find. And I would say when you add that to the fact that biohacking, personal health, health span instead of lifespan, these different choices are the topics on all the podcasts. Go listen to, I don't care what podcast you're listening to, they've got somebody talking about gut health, talking about longevity, talking about mental clarity, talking about energy, talking about sleep, talking about all this. And we have a society that is leaning in now. They're not leaning back, and this is a fringe thing. They're leaning in, saying, no, I want to take charge of my health. I want to live longer, right? So you have this low market penetration, low market kind of visibility, very stable organization attached to what might be the hottest story in the world, which is health, longevity, and the products that you have that serve that need. When you tie those things together, we sat down, 2 months ago? Something like that, 3 months ago, in Arizona, and I said to the executive team and the ownership, I said, you know what I would love to see with Plexus? And they said, what's that? I said, I'd love to see them get loud. And they just smiled, and they just smiled, they said, guess what our convention is called? I said, no way, for real? So that's like literally a coincidence, but that's my message for you with company, product, compensation, support, timing, all lining up. You don't have a quality problem when it comes to the opportunity. You've got it all. You have a quantity problem when it comes to the number of conversations you're having with other people about it. If you get loud and if you have more conversations about what it is that you have, you're gonna win. Whoever talks to the most people is gonna win. Period and end of story, okay? So that's my view of how this thing checks out. You agree?